Behind the Shades.
When you decided to find the wisdom in silence and decided to say, this is going to be the new version of me, and I love it. Was it something that were the people around you as receptive, or did you find maybe something started to change because you became a new person?
I'm listening to your word choices because I didn't settle myself to find the wisdom in silence. I think again, the pandemic, the quarantine introduced me to silence, and silence then revealed wisdom. So I didn't position myself. I'm gonna choose to no. I am in Georgia. I don't have family here. Excuse me, y'all, my glasses are driving me nuts, but I don't have family here. And so I had no choice but to be myself because everybody was scared, be by my or with myself, I like to say, because everybody was scared to be around people. And so often I was just with myself. And so in that, wisdom was being revealed in the silence that introduced itself to me in quarantine. I what as it relates to my relationships, what started to happen is the relationships that are pure or not or lacked purity, the ones that had that were toxic started to reveal themselves and drop off. So there wasn't, so the ones that have remained are the ones that should be. And I had recently, I'm telling on myself, but recently I went to bed and didn't realize till the next day around about lunchtime during my planning period that I realized that my phone hadn't been on silent since the night before, the day before. I slept all night and my phone didn't beep, buzz, nothing. I was so grateful that I had done the work and that my circle is such that everybody is asleep. I had done the work because I turned on silent because of I had people in my circle in my world who had no regard for rest, and so or don't get rest and just have no regard for me who seeks to rest. And so now it's either I've done the work because I've had to have conversations with family members, with people who I thought were my friends who are not anymore about, please let me rest. Well, turn your phone on, do not disturb. I shouldn't have to make that adjustment. I'm not up texting you. You texting me. I'm not up sending Instagram, messages over and over and one video after the next. And now it seems that anyone who is left sleeps at night, and if they don't, they're considerate enough to allow me to. And so there's a lot of underlining, if you will, kudos, for lack of a better term, in my circle. People are sleeping. They want rest. Or if they aren't, I have considerate friends in my circle, considerate family members in my circle. And that's a blessing.
I remember a time where I had to make a rule. 10 p.m. and I'm not answering anybody, as my father used to say, if it's an emergency. you call 911,
not
right?
not if it's an emergency
Right?
call, but if it's an emergency call 911.
Yeah, because he's like, what can I do?
Right, right. My
But
my my rule, I made a rule that I wouldn't speak to my married friends, particularly my guy friends who are married after 11 o'clock. Certain married friends after 10. So yeah, I understand those boundaries, and that's always fun too. The more the more I create boundaries, the better I get at it.
I agree. I had I'm going to share this story because this person and I are no longer friends. So there was there was a time where there was someone who, Facebook, how people trying to reconnect, and
Hmm.
there's these memories. So there was someone who I knew years ago, back when I was in elementary school and high school. So this is like 10, 15 years ago.
Hmm.
And I guess a memory came up and she would send me a message, hey, do you remember me? So on and so forth. And I didn't. Like, I was just truthful. I didn't remember this person. And then she sent me a second message. Okay, this person actually knows me. So I went to their profile and I looked at it and I found that they're married and they have kids. And then, but something in me told me to check the time of the messages. It was 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock
Mm-mm,
in the morning.
mm-mm.
And I'm thinking, I'm looking at the picture of your husband. I'm looking at your message to me. I'm looking at your picture of your kids. I'm looking at your message to me. And it goes back to the boundaries. It's like when you mention the married couple, are you one texting someone else, messaging someone else while you're laying next to the person that you're married
Mhm,
to? Or are
mhm,
you coming out of the bed and saying, I'm just going to the washroom or I'm just going to get a glass of water. Let me do this. And
mhm.
you're right. It shouldn't be, the responsibility is not on us to turn off our phones, put on do not disturb, or put it way over in the corner of another room.
Right,
We should all have the self control,
right.
right?
You know, I think the other thing too is everybody, especially if you're married, everybody doesn't need to know that you're awake. Everybody doesn't need to know that you are not sleeping with your husband. Everybody doesn't need to know that you are not sleeping alongside your wife. Everybody don't need to know that. So whether, if you're up or, you know, awake, if you go to bed at different times, which is another revealing thing, all of those things, everybody doesn't need to know that, find something else to do. Stop liking people's posts on social media, after when, after hours, and, it's okay to be awake if that's your thing, but everybody don't need to know that.